But if you move somewhere and then you abruptly end that transformation, you're potentially missing out on an abundance of happiness and growth and success. Hey y'all, it's your girl Tynisha Renee here. For those of you who are new to the channel, this is Tynisha Talks, where we have transparent discussion about love, sex, dating, relationships, and we also talk about my ghetto experiences here in Atlanta, Georgia. So this video is gonna be pretty chill. I have my wine here, so we just chilling, we're vibing. But lately I have been getting a lot of DMs asking me questions about Atlanta, how to get adjusted to Atlanta, how to meet people in Atlanta. And so I thought I would bless y'all with a couple of gems to help you with your transition if you're here, or if you're thinking of moving to Atlanta, just some things to consider so that you're fully prepared to navigate all the stuffuses, okay? So for those of you who don't know my background, I have lived in Atlanta for 2.5, almost 3 years now, which I can't believe time has totally flown. I am originally from New York, born and raised, but the city that I'm from is pretty small. I know when y'all hear New York, y'all think about downstate, the boroughs, so Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx. I'm not from that area. I'm from upstate, closer to Canada, okay? You can get to most places in the city within about 20 minutes. So I'm sure that you can imagine that coming to Atlanta was a little bit of a culture shock for me. So before we dive into it, just a little disclaimer, okay? I know that there are some people out there who side-eye, okay? I throw a little shade at people who are not from Atlanta and give advice on living in Atlanta. But I think that with me relocating here, I definitely do have a unique perspective because I know what it's like to literally pick up my whole life and start from scratch in a new city. People who are from Atlanta can't really give you that insight because this is their territory. All right, but now that that's out of the way, let's get into it. My first and most important tip, if you don't remember anything in this whole entire video, make sure you remember this, okay? Do not get caught up in the nightlife here. This is especially important for those who are moving from smaller cities that don't really have any sources of entertainment. So to paint a little picture for y'all, I was/am a homebody, okay? I know y'all might not be able to tell if you follow me on social media, but back in New York, it was not abnormal for me to go 2-3 months without going out to any bars or any clubs. I really appreciate having my time to myself. I'm what you would call an introverted extrovert. So I talk to people, I'm pretty social, but I still need my time to recharge. And then I moved to Atlanta. And I quickly learned that every single day of the week is lit, okay? These Atlanta streets will turn you out if you let them. So I literally went from barely going out to going out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I realized that Thursdays are probably one of the best days to go out in Atlanta, okay? So I was just out here. Oh, and my tatas out. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry y'all if I was flashing y'all. I'm not re-recording that though, so we just gonna roll with it. Now as a woman, it is a lot easier to get caught up in the nightlife because you never have to pay for anything. If you're cute or you have a decent social media following, entry into clubs, sections, drinks, all of that are usually free. I could probably count in the 2.5 years that I've been in Atlanta, maybe I'ma say 3 to 5 times that I went out and I actually had to buy my own drink, and that's being generous. So for a while I'm just going out, being lit, living it up, and I'm like, yo, this is a win-win situation. I'm not really losing out on any money because I don't have to pay for anything. But you know what I was losing? Time, okay? Time. The most valuable form of currency. To be completely honest, I would say that my first 1.5 years in Atlanta was solely dedicated to building a social circle. But now I realize that if I had been a lot more focused and intentional on really locking in and chasing my goals, I would absolutely be a lot further than where I am today. Now, if you are just coming to Atlanta to live it up, be in these streets, be in the club scene, just be super mixy, then this doesn't apply to you. Go ahead and live your best life. But 9 times out of 10, that's usually not the only reason why people are moving out here. A lot of people are coming to Atlanta because they see it's a lot of opportunity. They want to level up. They want to chase success. So if you're trying to level up, that club life, that ain't gonna work for you, boo. Either way, just keep in mind that the people who are truly wealthy, successful, well-connected, they're not the ones who are spending most of their free time in the club every weekend. Which brings me to my next tip. Be strategic about your network. Like I said before, wealthy people are not in the club every weekend. Unless you are a bottle girl, a promoter, a bartender, you don't need to be there every weekend either. The main takeaway is that you want to make sure you are reflecting on your goals and putting yourself in spaces where you're able to meet people who align with those goals. I also get a lot of questions about how to meet people, and I've said this a few times on my channel before, but my top 2 apps are Meetup and Eventbrite. But definitely Meetup. When you're done with this video, download the Meetup app, because that's gonna be the plug. That's gonna help you stay connected. You know what I'm saying? Lately, I've really been vibing with networking events. So I'll go to things that are for people who are interested in or currently in the film industry, people who are content creators, social media influencers, things of that nature, just because it aligns with what I'm doing now and where I'm trying to go. Oh, let me grab my wine. Hold on. Wait a second. I'm not gonna lie though, when I first moved to Atlanta, I would literally get anxiety at the thought of going to networking events, and I would be so nervous because I was intimidated, honestly. But I have learned / am still learning how to have more confidence in myself. Now, I know that some people don't vibe with networking events at all, and that's totally fine. You can still use the Meetup app or Eventbrite to go to social events and just meet people based off of common interests. So it doesn't only have to be about networking. Even though that's a big part of being in Atlanta, I'm telling you now, if you are not prepared to network, you are not going to maximize your time and your potential in Atlanta, because all people do is network here, baby, okay? All right, so my next tip kind of goes back to what I said before about being intimidated by people here, and that is, do not compare yourself to others. Listen here, baby. Come here. In general, most people put on a facade to seem like they're happier or more successful than they really are. But here in Atlanta, child, there are people who call themselves entrepreneurs when they might really be scammers. The business that they're running is running game, okay? Or you have the people who are in the club every weekend. They're dropping at least $1,000 on a section, flexing to get women to come into the section. But then they gotta live with 3, 4, 5 other people just to make ends meet. Priorities all messed up. And real talk, that's no shade to anybody who does that, but that really puts things into perspective. The Black Hollywood reputation definitely does have its pros and cons, but you really want to make sure you're staying true to yourself. Don't change for anyone to try to impress them so that you don't get caught up in the BS out here. You could literally be putting unnecessary stress and anxiety on yourself because you're trying to live up to a standard that's not even real. And speaking of not real, let's talk about navigating fake people in Atlanta. This by far has been the hardest thing for me to adjust to, because I am literally me all the time. On multiple occasions, I have met people who are really big personalities on social media, and then you meet them in person and they're just them on the internet, and then them in person are like night and day. Salt and pepper, water and oil, rice and... you know what I'm saying. I can always tell how many followers a person has based on how down to earth they are. It's like the level of humbleness decreases as people have a K in their follower count. So the higher that K is, you know what I'm saying, 10K, 11K, 120K, the higher that number gets, the least humble these people are. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that does still kind of annoy me, because I don't really care how good you look, how much money you make. I don't think that that's a justification to be a shitty person. But I did have to kind of shift my perspective with living out here. So one thing to keep in mind is that most people who live in Atlanta are actually not from Atlanta. So you have people who are moving from all across the world to come here, and they often try to reinvent themselves. The beauty of moving to a new city is that you can become whoever you want to be, and that's what a lot of people are coming out here and doing. In the process of trying to reach a certain status or portray a certain image, people often feel like they have to, you know, rub elbows with people, pretend like they like them in order to get what they need from that person so that they can move forward. And that's where the fake / opportunist type of energy energy is coming in. Now, I am blessed to have a strong intuition. I think it's Scorpio energy, but I'm usually pretty good at telling if someone is genuine or not. But for those of you who struggle with that, I definitely recommend that you try to surround yourself with people who you can also benefit from. And I know that y'all might hear that and be like, what? I don't use people. I'm genuine. That doesn't matter to me. Baby, welcome to the real world. Adulting has taught me that relationships function best when there's reciprocity. Oftentimes, people will keep you around because of the benefits that come with being associated with you versus who you are as a person. If we're really keeping it a buck, I think we all use one another, but the key is to find someone who uses you in the same way that you use them. What was that Rihanna said? The only problem is that you was using me in a different way that I was using you. My fifth and final tip is to give yourself time to adjust. I cannot stress this enough, y'all. I talk about Atlanta quite a bit on my channel, and I'll often get comments or DMs from people saying how they hated Atlanta and how they were happy that they moved, but they only stayed for a few months or at max a year. And honestly, that's just not enough time. In the 2.5 years that I've been here, I've loved Atlanta, then I felt so about it, and then I've hated Atlanta, and then now I've started to fall in love with Atlanta again. This time last year, baby, I was literally watching YouTube videos trying to figure out what city I wanted to move to next because I was over any and everything that had to do with Atlanta. But here's the thing, and I hope that I don't lose y'all because I'm about to get like semi-deep real quick. I believe that everything in life vibrates on a frequency, including cities. Therefore, the person that I am in Topeka, Kansas is not going to be the same person that I am in Boise, Idaho. I've never been to either one of those places, by the way. So when you're in a new place, you have to get adjusted to that frequency. And as we continue to adjust, we're constantly transforming. The person who I was when I moved to Atlanta in 2019 is not the same person who I was in 2020. The woman who I was in 2021 is definitely not the woman that you're seeing right now in 2022. But if you move somewhere and then you abruptly end that transformation, you're potentially missing out on an abundance of happiness and growth and success. Whatever it is that you want, it can literally happen if you're patient. Just think of what a frequency wave looks like, okay? So a wave will either go like this, right? So more subtle waves, or it's like this, right? Real quick up and down. But either way, it's not linear. It goes up and down like a roller coaster. And that's literally what your experience in Atlanta will be like. 99.999% of people that I know or that I know of have an Atlanta struggle story. If you want to hear mine, watch this when you're done here. Atlanta and the people in it were definitely trying me. But as of April 16th, 2022, I am honestly so glad that I stayed. My experience here has recently gotten so much better once I actually sat down and reflected on what I want, where I want to go, and who I want to have in my life. All right, y'all, I have no idea how long this video is at this point, but those were my 5 tips on surviving in Atlanta. I hope that you found these helpful. If you have questions about anything, or if something that I said resonated with you, make sure you talk to me in the comments. I love to hear from y'all so that I know what you're thinking. And if you are not subscribed, so you just took in all of this free game and you're not gonna help your girl out, then we just have a whole conversation about reciprocity in relationships. It's the reciprocity for me. No, but if you enjoyed my content, please consider joining my family by subscribing to my channel, because we always lit and we keep it real over here. Okay, period. All right, y'all, but I am about to hop off this. So as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and until next time, y'all, bye.